Hello ACE family. In this video we're going to be talking about primers. Specifically, these are more of a household primer, paint and patching, interior, exterior, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start with kind of the most common stuff and work our way up towards the more specific scenario items. Essentially with the primers is the same thing with the paint. There's what you have to know is there's a lot of different situations where someone might need a certain product to help their project turn out the best, and you just have to make sure we find that application. It's not always hard, it's not always difficult to find that. It's just knowing all the different scenarios and picking what might be the best application for that product. So we'll start off with the most basic ones, the highest sellers that we have, and that is going to be the Kilz 2 Latex and the Zinsser 123 Bullseye Primer. They're both fantastic products, and the reason we sell them so much is because they're kind of the at the bottom of the price line. They're the starting point as far as price. They're inexpensive, but they work for interior and exterior applications. And if you have a common run-of-the-mill paint project where you're doing vinyl or wood siding, or you're doing bare sheetrock inside, this is a great primer. Both of these are fantastic primers for those applications. The rest of these primers can all be used for that too, but you're paying more for them for a specific purpose, so it doesn't always make sense to go ahead and do that. We've had good luck with both of them. Just the main thing you have to pay attention to with primers is interior, exterior, and then what temperature they can be applied into. Most of them can't be below 40 degrees, but it just depends on it. You might have to do a little bit of light reading, but that just means there's a shorter video to watch. So the next sort of specialty primers, we've got like a Bullseye water-based primer. It's kind of in a similar group. It's interior. We have this no volatile organic compounds primer right here that's kind of a greener option for folks. What the VOCs mean is basically it comes down to odor, so it's a little bit more scientific than that. It's that the compounds go up into the air as the product cures and dries. Most of those compounds stay in the paint, and it basically results in a lower odor, but a little bit healthier than breathing those fumes. So I want to talk about the Kilz because that's like the name in paint or in primers. So there's the Kilz Original, that's the red, that is an oil base. So that's really common if there's an odor in the home, whether there's a skunk that was underneath the crawl space that died, or whether someone was a smoker in the back porch and just brought the odor inside. I find that the Kilz 1, the original Kilz, does a great job of masking those odors a little bit, but it also helps to fight stains in the sheetrock too. We already covered Kilz 2. Kilz 3 is an interior exterior primer, and it's a latex, but it's a higher hide. It's got specific stain blocking properties with it as well. And then this is an odorless Kilz, so that again, kind of similar to this, just no odor, lower VOC sort of deal. When we go down here, we've got a kitchen and bath primer. We've got oil-based house primer. Whether you're doing, so you can do, if your surface that you're priming is water as a latex base, as a water base, or it's an oil base, you can use an oil base or a water based primer over it. And then if you're going to be painting over it, you can use an oil base or a water base primer to paint latex or oil base over the top of it. It's good as long as it's primer. You cannot put oil-based paint over latex-based paint or water-based paint, and you can't do it the same way vice versa. It won't turn out real well, but when it's primer, fortunately, you're covered. Everything on the bottom here, we have mold killing primer, and then we have mold and mildew proof paint, and that is ready mix, comes in white, and this is great for the bathrooms that maybe don't have a fan. Sometimes there's a lot of homes in our area that do not have fans in their bathrooms to evacuate all that water when someone showers, and you tend to get mold. This is common for those applications and those scenarios. We have a peel stop binding primer. That's if the layers are kind of coming off and you just kind of want to patch it up and help keep those layers on and do something over it. That'll work. It's not super popular for our area. And then the next product I want to talk about is this Stix primer. This primer is absolutely awesome. And what makes it awesome is its ability to bind to everything and anything, and its amount of versatility of uses. Now, it's about double, if not more, than like a Kilz 2 or a Zinsser primer. In some cases, it's triple the cost. So it's expensive, but it's for very specific applications. So one of them is if you're painting cabinets and you want a really good top coat, your really good top coat starts with a very good undercoat. And a very good undercoat would be a Stix primer. You can use other primers. I have painted cabinets with the Zinsser 123 primer right here. It worked well, and we did the Clark & Kensington paint over top of it, and it turned out great. But if it would have been my own, I probably would have gone with the Stix, because it would have been a higher quality coat over the top of it and really just made a difference on how hardy that top layer would have been. So another application, so Stix it will stick to anything. The name is what it does, and it will even stick to glass and tile, and that's very tricky to get surfaces to go ahead and do that. So another application that's very common is someone moves into a new house, and you just spent a bunch of money on a new house. Maybe you want to redo it room by room or make it livable, but it's hard to have all the money to redo that all at once. Well, one of the things that can get expensive is tile. And so what we've had people do is they had a green tile, a blue tile, whatever. We don't discriminate on color, but somebody wanted to change the color of their tile. So what they do is they can paint this over tile, and then we can get a floor paint, like a Royal Porcelain floor paint, to go over top of that. And now their tile's a completely different color. They can do something different in the grout to make it look like that, but they've got a very hardy surface and the color that they want that fits their style now. So just a few situations that this product can be used. It's absolutely fantastic, and anyway, if no other primer will work, the Stix probably will. So the Insulux, this is also by Benjamin Moore. I don't know if I mentioned that. Insulux is a Benjamin Moore name. Insulux, it's a hide primer, but this is black primer. The rest of the primers that we have are white. So the black primer is great if they're trying to hide something, or like a Sharpie, like crayons, to name a few things. Or if you're doing a very dark color, if you're doing a navy blue, if you're even going to a black for a movie theater room, if you're a dark red, this would help hide that bottom coat and really bring out the best color in the top coat if you're going with very dark colors. So again, just a few more ideas there. This is kind of a problem surface primer. This doesn't come up super often, but I'll leave it to you to just kind of read the label, get familiar with the products. We know when to recommend it, but it's really as few and far between that this product comes up. Zinsser has a stain covering primer too, similar to the Kilz 3, just helps to hide those stains. Zinsser has this, it's a shellac based primer. And this, I mentioned that the oil based primer is great if someone was smoking outside of the house maybe and kind of brought that odor in. This primer, we had someone that moved into a house that they just bought that had been smoked in a lot, and it was gross. There was a lot of soot on the walls, and the odor was very strong. And it is absolutely incredible what she did with this. So she asked me, what do I use? I said, well, it's smoke damage essentially. So what we have to do is take a TSP cleaner, TSP substitute. We have to degrease the walls. So she went top to bottom, all the walls, all the ceilings, cleaned it off. That's the first step, is to clean it, make sure you have a nice good coat on it. And then we were able to use this primer because we had smoke. It's a shellac base. This primer went over it. Now that it's all clean, it sealed that odor in to give it a refresh, and it also helped to mask the odor. And you go in that house after they painted, and it smelled like a brand new house. It turned out absolutely fantastic. Now, super expensive for that primer, but when you need expensive primer, it serves a very specific purpose, and in her case, that was a great purpose for this product. So it'll hide a lot more than just that, but just trying to give you some situations with those. All of these essentially are the smaller spray versions of their bigger counterparts, and then we have the quartz on top here that for the smaller containers if customers need it, but they're all pretty comparable to the products that they represent down below. Sometimes you just need a little bit of it. We talked about patching walls, whether it's this big or this big. If you didn't have any primer, just needed a little spray can to shoot over that so that you're ready for paint, that would be a good application for that too. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of a lot of these primers, and as always, don't be afraid to ask any questions or read the label for the customer, making sure we're making a good recommendation.